Alright, it's been a while.
That's been a while.
I apologize if you notice any discrepancies between this video and the last one. While I was doing my practice recordings, I went ahead and accidentally saved over the main save that I used for the LP with practice run save. So I had to go and replay up to this point again.
Not even a good Let's Player.
Nope, I'm the worst actually. So, you know, a lot of stuff's happened. There's a big event this weekend onto Tuesday. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The election?
No, that's not for a few months.
It's not as important.
And yeah, definitely not as important. I know, for people in the future, we recorded this right after E3 week. Right after I got eaten. I forgot that guy was there. Anyway, yeah, we're recording this after E3. Rosetta, is there anything interesting at E3 that maybe pertains? Is there anything interesting that maybe pertains to this Let's Play, perhaps? Anything we might need to talk about?
Horror games.
And of course, talking about Dishonored 2.
Talking about Tekken 7.
But no, Resident Evil 7 was announced and had a short little gameplay demo, or a short little trailer, and as of recording this, there is a demo on the PlayStation Network for people who are subscribed to PS Plus. Rosetta, what do you think about Resident Evil 7?
It's interesting. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it really, because I mean it looks pretty cool. I think it could do a few things well. It's definitely harping on the Silent Hills vibe, but
I hate it when people say that because it's not harping off of Silent Hills at all, other than the fact that it's in first person and it's in a house.
hey, that's very unique.
Like, already the differences between Resident Evil and Silent Hill as a franchise means that it's not going to be at all similar to Silent Hills, because Resident Evil is... this is going to sound like the stupidest thing to say considering what game we're playing, but Resident Evil is a very grounded franchise. And what I mean by that is that, a lot of horror, and especially video game horror, I believe Resident Evil is almost unique in this regard, is that it's all very, not fantastical, but horror generally, especially video game horror, falls into either sci-fi or supernatural, and Resident Evil is one of the only series that is neither, and is more grounded than the rest, so... By nature, it's very different to Silent Hill, which is supernatural almost from the get-go. Oh, also, we got a cutscene here because we're gonna have to deal with sharks! Oh, yeah,
no!
I need to eat a herb so that way they don't kill me when they bite me.
Yeah,
this is the reworked undersea area. It looks so much nicer than the first games, which was just a box with a dumb old like fish tank in the middle.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Also, we've got strings.
I don't know what you're talking about though. Like it's very clearly harping off Silent Hills. It's a horror game. I mean, it's dark. It's in a house. What other game is like that? The answer is Gone Home, which killed gaming.
Also, Rosetta, how do you feel about sharks?
Sharks are
scare you? Do they scare you at all?
Not really. Sharks are neat.
Yeah, sharks don't scare me either. I think they're awesome. I love them. But anyway, to continue with Silent Hill 7, the main thing I got from it was a strong Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the video game, is something I never knew I wanted until now, but now that I know that's happening, I am all up in that shit.
You're not going to comment on Raccoon Herb?
No. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre so much. One of my favorite movies of all time, and like having a Resident Evil version of that is going to be amazing. But we have to talk about the game right now. So what we got to do is drain the water. Oh no!
emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected.
What is this accent, by the way?
Pressure.
To achieve maximum safety.
That's what a Draenei sounds like.
To achieve me. No, Draenei sound like Russians. This girl sounds like Borat.
Yeah, same thing.
I'm not gonna make any Borat jokes. This is 2016 and nobody makes Borat jokes anymore.
And here's my Borat joke. Very cool.
So this is the puzzle, if you can call it that. This is really tense and surprising and horrific when you play it for the first time, and when you play it every other time, it's basically just a checklist of shit you gotta do.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. No Five Nights at Freddy announcements at E3, unfortunately.
Damn it. That should have been like one of the indie announcements that Microsoft had. Microsoft buying Five Nights at Freddy's, putting it in Minecraft. There we go.
Yeah, buying Five Nights at Freddy's with VR. I mean, come on, step it up.
It'll only be true VR once I get my own face chewed off while I have the VR headset on.
By the way, speaking of things that weren't announced at E3, like none of the games coming out, unfortunately, MatPat can talk about. That poor guy is going to be starved for content this next year. He's going to start making videos like, is Halo a cool guy?
I think he's a pretty cool guy.
Obviously the answer is yes, of course he's a cool guy. It kills monsters and isn't afraid of anything. I mean, come on.
He doesn't afraid of a damn thing.
I remember when I was a fan of 4chan, a 4ch fan, if you will. I saw I believe it was the original thread for that. I believe I posted in the original I Love Halo thread. And like a lot of people were doing a similar thing, so I posted a picture of Travis Touchdown, and I said, "I love Scott Pilgrim and fights girlfriends and doesn't afraid of anything." And I was funny for a moment.
The only good 4chan thread I was a part of was there's a bit of a series of these where the challenge was to shittily draw something in MS Paint that was meant to be a like the icon of a game on your desktop. So yeah. I drew an upside down 2 to look like Mass Effect 2, and I had to come up with stupid names for it, so I called it Mossy Fact Toe.
Nice.
It was good.
So yeah, this is what we gotta do. We gotta kill that shark. Yeah. So
shark.
What we gotta do is we gotta electrocute the shark and kill it, and we gotta jump down into the previously electrified water and walk right by his mouth to go pick up that key. That's so awesome. It's a great moment.
Is it a great moment of gaming?
Yeah, it's an epic moment of epic moment of gaming.
Epic video game moments. Name me your top 30 epic video game moments. No,
when
31.
Master Chief died, when Sans cried, when Aeris got a burger in Final Fantasy VII, when Gordon Freeman spoke for the first time, the first time I played Watch Dogs, although those were tears of disappointment and fear, so I don't know if that counts.
It does.
The beginning, middle, and end of Metal Gear Solid 3, and the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 when the old guys are fighting on the ship, and when they announced Dead Rising 4. There.
That's
30.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Yakuza series, so the idea of the games being seasonal is a really fun thing for me.
Yeah, who's it?
You're a something of a Yakuza fan, aren't you? You've never really played any of them, but you enjoy them in theory.
I adore them in theory. They seem delightful, and I just got a new controller, so I'm probably going to be Playing some of them games on the old PCS 2xe, 2xe.
Nice. And which means that you can actually friggin' co-op with me with these games, finally.
I know what you're talking about.
Alright, so here's this puzzle. We remember it from the last game, from the original. So it's different this time. It's no longer like a, turn all the lights red puzzle. Instead, you've got these 3 symbols, and when you highlight a symbol, you gotta press a number. Now, I don't know if this is a Resident Evil HD thing, or if my copy is just screwed up, or what, but there's supposed to be different colors, but in my game, all 3 of them are just blue. But it doesn't really matter. There are oil lamps in that room with the spiders that we visited once, and we're supposed to light up the oil lamps and match them with billiards balls on the table, and it would take forever. But it's the same solution every single time. It's the same solution in every game. In one game every time is randomized between games. But I already went ahead and I found the numbers, so we don't have to do that, thankfully.
That's a lot of explanation.
It's not that long. I just rambling a bit. And the answer is always a combination of 3, 6, and 5. Got bit by bees a bit.
Bees?
So here we have the V-Jolt puzzle. It's, if not exactly the same, nearly exactly the same as it was the last time we saw it. So we just gotta get these 3 things and start mixing chemicals. So aside from that Resident Evil, is there anything you're thinking about with regards to E3? Any announcements that you care about?
The biggest thing for me is State of Decay 2.
That's gonna be cool.
I am such a big fan of State of Decay. If any of you guys that are watching this have never played State of Decay, there is a Year 1 edition on Steam, and I believe on the Xbox One market. But if you buy the Xbox One market, or if you buy the Xbox One, I'm sorry. Anyways, the game is incredibly good, in my opinion. It does something that many zombie games don't do, where it does such a good job at using mechanics to make the characters that you're taking care of become more alive, which is actually kind of hard to do, really, once you think about it.
I just interrupted you for a second. I'm so glad I did that all from memory. I was worried that I'd have to go. I'd screw that up. Anyway, go on.
Anyways, because you need to take care of these people. Every once in a while, they'll get really upset at something. Stuff just happens to them. You need to go out and rescue them, and you have to balance these resources around them. And these otherwise characters that might become flat become so real. And the gameplay's fun. It does such a good job with what little funding you clearly had, and it's just a great game. Please give it a shot.
One of the things I really like about the State of Decay 2 trailer is that I believe both of us, I know I did, immediately knew it was State of Decay 2.
Yeah.
Because people are driving down the road and they open up a car door to hit a zombie with it.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
We both immediately knew that, okay, this is State of Decay 2.
Okay, so I want to ask you something about E3. Outside of Deus Ex, which I think we're both pretty excited for,
Mm-hmm.
Is there another AAA game that you are pretty excited for?
Aside from Resident Evil 7, no, not really. I find it's really hard for me to get excited about games in general, and sequels and rehashes and whatnot generally get me very much not excited. Although, I think Dishonored 2 looks pretty dope, and if it's any good, I'm picking it up.
I strangely feel very, very excited for Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I have a gut feeling, right? I have this gut feeling that it's probably going to be pretty good, because I had this same kind of feeling whenever Shadow of Mordor was coming out, and all of my friends were like, "It doesn't look that good. It won't do that well." And Shadow of Mordor comes out, and it's a good ass game. It's a really good game.
good old game.
I'm feeling really good about this. I think Wildlands is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been doing pretty good with their Tom Clancy franchise in the past little while.
Yeah.
You know, Rainbow Six Siege is really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Counter-Strike like. I
love Siege.
The last Splinter Cell was pretty darn good. It was a lot better than Condemned, Confirmed. Whatever the fuck the last one before Blacklist was called.
Yeah, Blacklist was really good, actually.
That one was bad, but Blacklist was really fun. So, I think they'll do all right with it. Although of those franchises, Ghost Recon is probably the one that got treated the worst.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about Titanfall 2 as well because I love Titanfall. It's a really fucking fun game, you know. I'm also feeling pretty good about Mafia 3.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to watch Mafia 3 because I was watching the Easy Ally stream, which for those of you who don't know, Game Trailers was a website that got shut down just recently. So most of the staff writers and some of the video guys for that website went on and made a new YouTube channel. I believe they also do text reviews called Easy Allies. Their E3 coverage was really great because they weren't typical industry shills. You know, they called out a lot of really stupid shit, and you know, they got reasonably excited at things that were good. Anyway, this is a preamble to say. Sorry, this is just a preamble to say that I didn't get to watch the Mafia 3 trailer because IGN had exclusive coverage for Mafia 3, so they couldn't stream it. But go on.
I wasn't able to watch it either, but there's a lot of things that make me interested, and one of those things is stuff being placed in the South because, as you know, I'm a Southern boy.
Strength with the Brahma strength, excuse me.
With the Brahma strength, ain't nobody man enough to feel the pain. But Mafia 3 looks like because it's set in New Orleans. It features like the interracial mafia, and you're playing as like a person of color. There's a lot of like really good checkpoints being like marked off for that game, and I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too that I really like about Resident Evil 7 is it's a horror game set in New Orleans as well, and New Orleans is the perfect horror setting.
Oh yeah,
damp, muggy, swampy, like. Oh, it's really good. And the only other New Orleans horror game to come out, Left 4 Dead 2, was really good. So.
Yep. I just like swampy areas tend to. Like very marshy, swampy areas, New Orleans-esque areas tend to create a better atmosphere than others. I have not played Far Harbor yet, but I hear that it does its atmosphere really well.
Yes, but Far Harbor, it has nothing to do with the Bayou or New Orleans or anything.
It doesn't, but but I thought it's still like a very swampy area.
Maine, no. There's lots of lakes and stuff, but it's not the New Orleans atmosphere.
Okay.
It's like. Maine is the place where you go for like quaint coastal town feelings, where something's slightly off. Like Maine is a Twin Peaks setting, like that kind of horror is good for that. New Orleans is where you go when you want to be incredibly oppressive with your atmosphere, where it feels like the world itself is like fighting against you, kinda. Because it's almost the polar opposite, because Maine is very cold and it's wet, but it's damp, not muggy. But we can talk about atmosphere for hours. Anyway, point is, New Orleans is a really good setting.
Yeah, because I like to harken back to one of my favorite settings in the Fallout series, which was actually for the bad Fallout 3. Point Lookout had a really good setting. I believe
Point Lookout was the only Fallout 3 DLC that was actually any good.
I liked the pit. I can say I liked the pit.
Oh, the pit was awful. It was just the arena storyline from all the Elder Scrolls games put in the
I know. It was fun though. That's the thing. It was fun. But you know, I liked it. But yeah, Point Lookout was actually good. I might need to play through just that again. I had a friend of mine I was talking to where they said they had not really played much of Fallout, but